Welcome everyone. Welcome to Butcher and the Beard. I'm David Butcher. That's John Shanley. How's everyone doing?
Good morning. My beard's getting longer.
It is. That thing is looking like it's getting Christmas
Crazy.
time.
It's getting out of hand. I don't even fit it in the screen anymore.
It doesn't.
We'll see. Hey, look, if the Knicks win a championship, this is all going.
Yeah.
Doing it for the fans, but realistically, I would enjoy it. I don't think that's going to happen, which is why I would enjoy it even more if it
Yeah.
does. But you know, uh, either way, the beard's going to stick around for a while. Um, we got some interesting news with Otani. They're playing right now. Actually, it's like 5 in the morning, and the Dodgers are losing 8-2. But the Dodgers fire Otani's interpreter amid some kind of allegation of a massive theft. Um, there was questions surrounding at least 4.5 million in wire transfers sent from Otani's bank account to a bookmaking operation for a series of events. So I guess somebody's betting on sports, which if Pete Rose would tell you, baseball players can't do that. And I don't know what happened, but apparently they're saying the funds were stolen, and whatever the interpreter said, he was fired. So
yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing. That's just like like I don't know. Like maybe he was not supposed to tell him that it was stolen. Like I don't. Maybe he was just supposed to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if Otani's just like whatever. I make 700 million, so 4.5 million is like pocket change for me.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Grab this out of my wallet and maybe put some NCAA tournament bets in, or maybe some football picks or some futures.
Yeah.
Maybe he put a little side bet on himself to win MVP. You know what I mean? Guys with money, they could do whatever they want, but obviously, the gambling aspect of sports has changed everything. So, you as an athlete, you can't be betting on baseball. But like I said, ask Pete Rose how that worked out for him.
You know what's funny is that everybody says you gotta bet on yourself, but when you really bet on yourself, it's
Yeah, you're
kind
fucked.
of but like if I bet on myself to hit like 150 home runs, I'm just saying ridiculous stats. Why
Mm.
would they care? Like how you know what I mean?
It's
Okay,
almost like you're giving yourself an extra bonus. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Because like you can put that in your contract. Like if I hit 50 home runs, I'm going
yeah,
to get an extra $10 million. Why not just be like, you know what? I'm going to go to your contract might. Well, I don't want to do that. And you're like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to put $1,000 down that says I'm going to hit 50 home runs, and then I'm going to win
ten
whatever, a
million
million.
dollars or whatever. But
You know?
if now let me see that ticket slip. If you're over here saying I'm gonna strike out every single pitch, then I'm gonna say okay, maybe we need to investigate that. But if I'm
Right.
gonna
Like let's say I need some extra cash,
yeah,
which if you were making 700 million, I don't know how you need extra cash, and
yeah,
you're like, you know what, I'm gonna place a little bet that I'm gonna go 0 for 4 today.
yes, you know what I mean.
And
And
I'm gonna go 0 for
yeah,
4.
because when Calvin Ridley got investigated, he was betting like on the team to win,
Right. Oh,
like
Pete Rose too, like for a certain, and he was doing like run differential,
yeah,
but the allegations were that he was playing games, to cover the spread instead of just winning or losing. So
yeah,
like, it was one of those things where, well, you know what? If I'm a fucking gambler, go ahead, cover the spread. Give me that extra incentive. Absolutely, you know
yeah,
what I mean. But I do get the integrity part of it.
yeah,
Um, but I also, and this is my argument that Pete should be in the Hall of Fame because regardless of what his problems were off, and gambling obviously was a problem. It's an addiction, and like I see it every single day.
yeah,
Even me, like I don't give into the addiction like people like that, but like I'll lose money because I enjoy doing it. But
yeah.
it's an addiction, and people go to meetings and stuff and have things about that with the so like the fact that he had an addiction So you bet on baseball. Who fucking cares? Like, you bet on a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? And to not put him in the Hall of Fame for that is
Yeah.
just bullshit. But that's baseball. Like, baseball punishes their best players, where football is like, yeah, we know that you probably should have been in jail for some of the things you've done, but on the field you were a beast, and we're gonna put you in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, like I guess that's what it comes down to. It's the game. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but if Pete was murdering people, maybe I don't put him in the Hall of Fame. But for gambling, I don't know how you sit
Right.
there and tell a guy. But you can put a guy who did steroids in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know what
And
I
that's the
mean?
thing. And I don't care about the steroid era either, because you know what? 90% of the guys were using it. And if people are telling you, oh, we weren't, bullshit. They were.
Yeah,
There was different types of steroids. And that's the thing. It's, people who don't know enough about it just stereotype them. Oh, they did steroids.
yeah,
Well, what kind of steroids did you do? You know what I mean? It's not anabolic steroids like they were taking horse tranquilizers back in the early 80s. It was
yeah,
like scientifically stuff that, was just like HGH, human growth hormone. Now, you exercise a lot, so your body naturally produces this hormone. But what
yeah,
happens is, as you get older, you stop producing it and you don't produce it as much. So what doctors have been able to do is give you injections of human growth hormone, which helps you regenerate faster and it helps you heal faster. So, like,
yeah,
if I was being Joe Schmo, if I hurt my arm or whatever and I tore a rotator cuff, guess what? Doctor's going to give me shots of HGH to help regenerate that muscle tissue quicker.
yeah,
So, like, it's not illegal steroids, but because of you know there's only certain things that they have to police. As a professional athlete, they look at that as like a steroid, and
yeah,
it gives you an unfair advantage. But really, most of them were taking it to be healthy and to be on the
yeah,
field. They're getting paid millions of dollars. They want to be out there. And then other guys, you took another, that are considered illegal, but they're not like as deadly or whatever. Guys take a cycle or whatever. And for the money that they were making, and it was evenly competitive. Like, pitchers will bitch, oh well, it was all the hitters. No, pitchers were fucking doing it too.
yeah,
Like I said, 90% of the people, and I played softball against guys that would take steroids because that was, it's legal. Nobody policing a slow
yeah,
court softball league. Guess what? I never really took them. I could compete with them. You know what I mean? It didn't
yeah,
make that much of a difference, to me. I was still good enough to be one of the best players, in travel tournament teams, and even playing against guys. I never felt like they had an unfair advantage. They just decided to do something, that I didn't. You know what I mean? I did try a cycle once, but it was actually in the off season when I was working out, trying to get,
yeah,
a little bit more muscle and stuff. And I did one cycle. I didn't like the way that I felt from it, and
yeah,
it was really just a slight testosterone booster. But, like, I don't know. I was like 32, so, like, I didn't really need
yeah,
that much of a testosterone booster. But like I said, all that stuff is legal, and then it's just deemed as steroids, and
yeah.
like, there's a lot more. It's a lot more complicated and in depth than people just with the steroids. So that's why steroid era, all that other stuff. It's like, what, these guys, while they played, they had the best numbers. They were incredible players, and they were above their peers. They should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't.
Yeah.
We want to do asterisk or steroid era, whatever, man. They were fucking great. I used to have season tickets that year, man,
Yeah.
for the Yankees, and I go to the games before 9/11. You were allowed to go into the stadiums, before the games and watch batting practice. And, you go in and you watch Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, those guys doing batting practice. They hit moonshots off the friggin' thing. That was as much as memorable as the games themselves. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's amazing. Like, yeah, because even in football, the peds and stuff like that, those little steroids that the doctors are giving you, and
Right.
then you get it suspended. You're like, the doctor that I go
Right.
to gave this to me. Well, how the hell am I getting
Because
suspended?
if you ever seen the list of, like, what's banned substances, it's like fucking 6 pages left in the encyclopedia. And, like,
Yeah,
you could take an over the counter cough and it
Yeah.
could have something in there. Oh, you're suspended for steroids. It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
You know?
And is an antibiotic a steroid?
Yeah, really. Oh my God, I got I got the flu, and
Yeah.
then my doctor I can't take a regular antibiotic
Yeah.
because
Because it's a
it's
steroid.
considered a steroid.
Yeah. No, like that's how I always say when I go to the gym now, I always go to myself as like, am I natural because I use creatine and like pre-workout, or is that like not natural? Like, is there people going to the gym not working out? Or I mean, is there people going to the gym that are like just literally just going off of water? Like, like I always think to
Right,
myself, like, no, I need a pre-workout to give me a little boost to get my blood flowing a little bit. You know what I mean? And it just helps me out a little bit. So like, I'm not saying that like maybe like you
but
said
that's
that.
the thing. Like, there's
Yeah,
a stereotype about it,
yeah,
and stereotypes don't go away. And like the way it's portrayed out to you, it simplifies it, but it's not a simple answer. It's like, oh, he just used steroids. Like,
yeah,
okay, well, what type was it? What was it? It could have been his doctor prescribed him like some kind of antibiotic for a fucking fungal infection because he
yeah.
was on the road, he met some girls, and he needed to take a pill to take
There you
care of some
go. You
stuff.
know. Yeah, for sure.
And the next thing you know, it's on the ban list, and it's like up suspended. I was like, oh man, I just had chlamydia, man. I can't be dealing with that.
Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it. And so,
uh, you
but
know, these
y-
poor guys. But
yeah,
you didn't feel too bad for them either because they're making, even if you're not Otani, like the contracts for professional athletes now are ridiculous. Like it's getting to the point where like a decent contract is 30 million a year. 30 million a year for like an not an average, but like an above average player,
yeah,
not even a superstar. If you're a superstar, you're going to be making 60 million plus a year.
yeah, for sure. That's crazy.
Oh, man. I just want a piece of that. Just a little piece. And what's funny
Same.
about that is like you hear about people that work within the organization, they don't make shit. The players they make all the big contracts, big money, but like you work in like I don't know in the offices or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're making like $15 an hour.
Yeah, I like as much as I would love to work for the Dolphins, if I'm not gonna be the water boy or something where I'm like interacting with the like the players, then I don't want to be around that because I know people that work for like the Dolphins, but they're like the ticket sale of people and shit like that, and you're like you
Oh
never
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's a boring ass job. I don't want to do that shit. I'm like no,
My
you can
ticket
work for
sales,
this.
a lot of them are commission based. So if you ain't
Yeah,
selling,
yeah,
you ain't making anything.
yeah.
And even if you sell things well, you're still not making much
No,
money.
I'm
You
like
know.
no, I'm
But
good.
see, but I learned this a long time ago. Teams utilize their fandom as motivation. It's like, oh man, you'll be working for the Yankees.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, you're paying me like fucking $12 an hour.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna be part of the Yankees organization, man. Come on, like that's
Well,
great. Yeah, well, that's great, but fucking pay me.
yeah.
you know?
Or give me you're gonna give me a world championship ring if we win one? No. Okay. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, sometimes organizations do.
Yeah, sometimes they
It
do.
depends. Obviously, like if I'm the fucking towel boy, probably not. But also, like if you work with the players,
Yeah,
then
you're gonna
then
get
you
one.
can you can
I
So like
would
if you like, let's say you're the guy that does their fucking laundry.
yeah,
You know what? Maybe you're only making salary at like I don't know 20,000 a
yeah,
year, 30,000 a year, but those players are fucking taking care of you
yeah.
because what's gonna happen is you're like your superstar, like I don't know let's say you're the Miami Heat fucking towel boy
Yeah.
and fucking you make sure that Jimmy Butler you wash his uniform in the exact fucking way that he likes it with the
Yep.
exact fabric softener or whatever that shit is like perfect. Then he may not give you cash, but you might get like a fucking $1 million Rolex as a fucking gift one day for Christmas, and then
Yes.
you sell that Rolex, and
Yeah.
now you're fucking
That's and you keep doing that to all the players. You're
right.
right.
You
There's
know what I
a
mean? Like
yeah,
there's the good ones. The
yeah.
good ones, they take care of you,
They
and
do.
and 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 there are a lot of them out there, and you don't hear stories like that. but believe me, that shit does happen.
Yeah.
And kudos to those players, because a lot of times fans, you see players making all this money and you just think, oh, there's these arrogant guys, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just like, but no, they do their best to take care of people. They
Yeah.
really do. You know what I mean? Like, we've had a few baseball players, come in to the casino, and when they win, they treat you pretty well.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
drop a couple of hundreds in the tip jar and stuff like that. So we, obviously us little people appreciate that. But like, I
Yeah.
feel like if I was in their position, I probably do the same,
Yeah.
as best as I can. Um, so because I'm, obviously gifted. I have an incredible life because I'm making millions of dollars, and you got to give it back a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So like the people that take care of them in their lives, I'm sure that they get well taken care of.
Yeah.
So, and if not, then you can be like, you know what, this dude's a fucking piece of shit.
Well, you have to look at it like a lot of these players that are big time, like you say, like a Jimmy Butler. Like a lot of times, a lot of shit he even goes to do is free because they just want him to come over there. So they'll give him clothing, food, all this because they want him there.
Oh yeah,
So sometimes he doesn't even have to go out of his fucking pocketbook. You know what I mean? Just literally just
yeah.
goes and they. It's just like, damn, I'm a family of four that has no money, and I go to this event. I gotta pay $500-$600, and you bring Jimmy Butler here, and he's a millionaire, and he's going for free with his whole squad. You're like, you son of a bitches, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I hate that, but it is what it is. But
It is what it is.
But playoffs are coming. What NHL is on a thing? How's the Rangers? The
Yeah,
Lightning are on fire. That Duclair.
right on fire.
Yeah, the Lightning are on fire. Duclair's trade was humongous. Like I said previous episode, he's letting Stamkos do what he does. The lines are looking really good. He's playing like he's playing like Braden Point in that front. Like that's so huge. Like the last game, he's only been on the 3 games and he already has 3 goals like that and 2 assists. That's pretty
Yep.
big for a player to just come into the role and already have a bunch of contributing like like onto the the ice. So it's really good. He's a humongous piece that has come in there and helped Stamkos line out, and that's what it's about in hockey. Hockey. The lines are where it's at. If you have a great line, and then like we say, if you can have 2 to 3 good lines, you're good. If you can have 2 great lines, you're amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're starting to peak at the right time.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. Rangers
Yeah.
stumble a little bit, but they're still right up there.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because now Carolina is only a couple points behind them, and then we
Yeah.
have 2 really tough games in a row. We have Boston, and then we have Florida, so the other top 2 teams.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I have a feeling we're not going to meet in the first round. Obviously, it could happen, but
Yeah.
I feel like something's gonna. They're too close, all of them.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to play Florida or even maybe Boston. I don't know, but we'll see how that all pans out. But I'm looking forward to that. Basketball, the Heat had a big win last night, even though Bam didn't play. Jimmy came back.
Yeah,
so
Jimmy did come back.
It's like a weird time of year, man. It's like some guys are available, sometimes aren't. Last night was supposed to be this huge, epic matchup between the Celtics and the fucking Bucks, and then Giannis, the best player in the fucking both teams, didn't play. It was still an exciting game. It was funny. Like by the time I came home, I wanted to turn on the Boston and Milwaukee game, but at that point, Milwaukee was down by like almost 20 points. So I turned on the Heat game, and that was a close game.
Yeah.
It actually went down to the wire, and a couple of big shots, and the Heat pulled it out. And then I turned back. I was like, you know what? Let me just turn on the Celtics-Buck game. And then in the fourth quarter, the Bucks made a big comeback. They never quite tied it. I think they got within like one possession. They got within 3 points at one point, but then Boston just kind of pulled away. So it was a little exciting at the end.
Not bad with no Giannis.
But right, it loses its luster with no Giannis. It was in Boston, so like they were the favorites. You knew they were probably going to win. It was a pretty entertaining game, and then I kind of just went to bed. I wasn't going to watch any of the real late games. But baseball's going to be starting up. Now it is, the NCAA March Madness. That's a huge
Yeah.
thing. Did you fill out your brackets?
No, I didn't fill out any brackets. I'm terrible at that. I am gonna get
Everybody is, but you
Yeah,
do it for fun.
yeah.
Like I don't. I almost feel like because I don't follow college as much as I should or do, that I probably have more of an advantage because the more you know, the less you know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That's
have a
true.
friend. I have a friend at work, Tyler, who's like obsessed with college basketball, and he knows like players from small schools and this and that. And he was doing all his research, and like he did that last year. And as bad as we both did, I still had higher points than him, in the bracket challenge because we
Yeah,
do want to work now. So it's like I don't know. Like you sometimes you go by memories of schools that were good, the
yeah,
coaches are good, stuff like that, and you just kind of like it's just a crapshoot. You know what I mean? Um, I did men's, I did women's. I'm gonna watch a lot. I well, I'm gonna try to watch some of the games because
yeah,
obviously like I'm not gonna watch one of the college. I'll keep an eye on the scores and what's going on, but I'm watching the pros. I'm watching the Rangers when they play. I'm watching the
yeah.
Knicks when they. I'm watching the pro stuff as the playoffs get closer for both of those sports. So. Um, we're gonna have a race this weekend.
Yeah, Morgan on Sunday.
We'll get Morgan on Sunday. Yeah. So that's about it. Baseball starting literally right now. It is 9-2. Not looking good for the Dodgers. Oh, I guess this is their second game. So the Dodgers did win the first game.
Oh, okay.
Right, they did play last night. So this kind of stuff is weird because they're going to play 2 regular season games, then they're going to come home and play a couple more preseason games,
Oh,
and
so
then they start.
those are gonna count as regular season?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They've done that before. They try to usually do it like actually right before, and then everybody else starts
Yeah,
the
that would
next
have
day.
made more sense on
But
opening day. So it's opening day out there, and then they're coming
yeah,
back to play preseason. So they're gonna be 1-1.
yeah. But
And
opening day will be here before you know it. Opening
yeah,
day is actually a lot of fun.
yeah,
It's usually really it's baseball's back, a lot of expectation, this
yeah.
and that, and then people teams might get off to a hot start the first week or two, and then everyone's
Oh,
like,
I
"Oh my
know.
god,
Yeah.
be there a year. This is gonna be." It's like, bro, just chill. It's gonna
No,
be.
we saw that with the Tampa Bay Rays. They
Oh
were
yeah, last
it
year.
was their
Oh,
year.
everybody work. Oh my god, this is gonna be a great season. We're gonna win it. I'm like, it's the first month. I was like,
Yeah,
talk to me after the All Star break, and by the time the All Star break came, they were in second place.
yeah. It was exciting though. I can't lie.
It was.
It was fun for the Rays, but like you said, I was just having more fun just experiencing it more than like
Yeah.
I wasn't saying we were gonna win the what's the name of the championship because I know I'm the Lightning. I know the Rays. They when they go to the playoffs, their small wallet shows. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it really does. So like that's what I feel bad for the Rays because like they're so small marketing that
Hmm.
they're like sitting here when they get into the playoffs when all the teams have all the rotations and the pitching and shit like that. They don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, and it shows. So like you need like you need 2 all-star pitchers and the pitchers are your best. It's like a goalie. It's like having Andre Vasilevsky in your net in the playoffs. Like when you have great pitchers, that's your goal. He's gonna save your team because he's gonna either strike them out or he's gonna put the ball in a position where it could be an out. You know, so
Yep.
and sometimes the Rays don't have that. So unfortunately,
Well, I'll tell you what though. The Rays did something a few years ago and when they did it, I said to myself, "Man, this is going to set a trend, and now all these other teams do it." What they did was is they didn't have enough starting pitching, so they literally every fifth day they went to a bullpen day, and it was just like, "All right, we're going to start somebody from the bullpen, and then we're just going to use the bullpen for the whole fucking game."
yeah,
Well, in those starts, the Rays had a winning record. So then, so all these other teams started doing, you know what? We're going to put money into 4 solid starters, and we're going to have a bullpen day.
yeah,
That's just the way to maximize, the pitchers in the bullpen and this and that. And then, you know, So then what happened is almost every team started doing that, having a bullpen day, because the bullpen, obviously. So I feel like eventually the starting pitchers, guys that go more than 4 or 5 innings, that might start to change. That might be the new thing, that the new trend in baseball, where you just get guys that are good for 4 or 5 innings, and then you
Yeah.
can play them more than one game in a row.
Well, that's what
Maybe
it
you don't
comes
have to
down
rest.
to.
Maybe you don't have to rest them 5 games. You only
Yeah.
play them. You only have them pitch 2 or 3 innings, but then they're available the next night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's not bad. So then they rest like 2 days after that, after playing
I
back to back.
feel like with the way that the baseball's trending, that's the next thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's gonna come down to your buck. It's gonna come down to your money, like as a owner or as a, like. First off, this guy's really good, and you're paying him a lot, but he's only pitching one game every 3 days, and you're like,
right,
you know what I mean, because he's throwing so many pitches. But you, as the manager, are gonna have to start coming down there and being like, okay, we're gonna win this game with you as the starting pitcher, but we need you tomorrow too. You know what I mean? Because we can't have this where you're throwing 90, like, 80 pitches in a game anymore. We need you like at 25 to 30. We're gonna take you out. We're gonna go to the bullpen, because if we can just sustain what you did for these 5 to 6 innings and
yeah,
hold you for the 3 extra innings, then we should be good enough for you to come back and pitch another 4 or 5 innings. You know what I mean? And then you take
yeah,
a 2 day rest. Okay, whatever. But at least we got 2 days out of you instead of
yeah,
playing freaking all this money, and you're only playing 23 games a year out of the, and that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like pitchers do. These good ass pitchers, they don't but play 5% of the games.
yeah.
And they're getting paid like Otani. He's a pitcher, right?
Well, yeah, and a hitter.
And a hitter. But I'm
So,
just saying, like, what's his percentage of playing?
he plays every day as a hitter because he's a DH. But then when he's not a DH, he pitches once every 5
That's
days.
all I'm saying. So that's the percentage of money making to what he's playing. So he sits in the fucking bullpen, not the bullpen. He'll probably sit in the dugout, waiting to be a designated hitter, and then everybody else goes out onto the field,
Yeah,
and he's making $700 million.
yeah.
That's fucked. You know what I mean? But
Dodgers are coming back. It's 9-6 as I look at it, and it's only pitching isn't helping in this game.
yeah.
Oh, all right, man. I guess we should wrap it up this week, and
Yeah.
maybe
We'll
look
see
back
you on
to-
Saturday Live.
Yep.
Saturday Live.
All right.
But everybody have a great day. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, loving us, and we love you guys. You guys have a great day, and we're out.
All right.